Hello, everybody. It is Adam from SoGo Survey, and today I'm here to talk about what Netflix and assessments have in common. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. Have you ever thought about how well your streaming service knows you? Well, today we are going to talk about Netflix. As almost everyone knows, Netflix is the world's top streaming service, and it offers plenty of personal recommendations for each profile. They use an algorithm, which is the process or rules followed in a problem solving operation, to deliver results in a style that mirrors quizzes or assessments. Rather than giving a score or follow up instructions based on your previous views, Netflix delivers customized Friday night picks that match your viewing patterns. For anyone who frequently implements quizzes or assessments with weighted questions, the process is very familiar. You would gather data, you would score it, and then you would create actionable reports. Over 80% of the shows you discover on your Netflix profile are provided because of the company's proprietary algorithm. Let's talk about the weighting game. When building an assessment, you add questions that can be automatically scored so that when you're done collecting data, you can provide your participants with quick results. Assigning scores or weights to different questions will lead to an ultimate score or comprehensive grade. Similarly, the Netflix algorithm focuses on certain behaviors and patterns that indicate data for the algorithm to gather and interpret. Interestingly, your explicit rating of your favorite show is rarely the most useful data. Todd Yellin, who is the vice president of Netflix product innovation, explains, quote, "Implicit data is really behavioral data," unquote. All that implicit and explicit data has various weights assigned to it. Consider all of the actions you might take while watching programs on Netflix. And here are some quotes about Yellen talking about how you score certain metrics for viewership. The answer to how all this data is weighted is the genius behind Netflix's algorithm. Quote, "That's where machine learning comes in," unquote, says Yellen. The company creates taste communities around the world, grouping people who enjoy the same kind of content. When talking about categories, a helpful way to break up your assessment is to create categories for your questions. Categories that participants scored higher in will equate to clear results for you about what's working and what's not. The many different weighted data points are then categorized by specialized tags. Tags are the tens of thousands of human-generated, extremely specific microgenres Netflix labels content with, like quirky romance or gritty Chinese action and adventure from the 1970s. All that data combined with the tags allows Netflix to know what recommendations are working for you, which aren't, and what they should recommend for you next. But what about preference ranking? When all the results and important data are in, those scores provide a great opportunity to customize participants' future experiences. The possible assessment uses are limitless. For Netflix, your scores are your preferences. The next step for the streaming service is to create a ranking of all movies that match your profile with the most relevance, from left to right, top to bottom. In other words, an assessment report is generated even if you will never see it. To wrap things up, the numbers speak for themselves when it comes to Netflix's dominance over the streaming industry. Netflix is just another example of how data collection with weighted questions is extremely useful and actionable. SoGo Survey's assessment power and Netflix actually have a lot in common. For a final fun tidbit about Netflix, if you ever find yourself surfing the endless algorithm provided recommendations for that one specific show you can't find, you can request Netflix to add it. On their request page, you can list up to 3 movies or shows Netflix should add. But in the meantime, request a live demo to learn more about the exciting assessment power at your fingertips with SoGo Survey. Don't wait, weight key variables and get important results more easily. Assessments are a great opportunity to customize consumers' future experiences. If you would like to read more about what Netflix and assessments have in common, we have a blog about it on our website. Also, please follow us at SoGo Survey on our various social media platforms down below. You can also reach us at 1-800-646-0520 or email us at support1@sogosurvey.com. Thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you tune into next episode as well. Thank you all so much. Please stay safe and have a wonderful week.